Today we're providing an update on the case of Mary Lou Combs, a Palm Coast woman who disappeared more than 22 years ago. Standing here with me today from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office is Chief Deputy Joseph Barilli, our Investigative Services Division Chief, Augie Rodriguez. I'm not going to list everybody going through this process, but Detective Sarah Scalia, who is case agent currently, and Corporal Andrew Cangelosi, who was the initial cold case detective. Let's see, I don't see Chief Welker. Sergeant John Reckenwald is here. He took actually the initial report when he was a deputy in Crime Scene Investigative Unit Manager Savannah McClellan. Representing the FBI team who participated in this investigation is Special Agent in Charge Jason Carley of the Jacksonville FBI Field Office. And we had a number of FBI teams here that included our FBI Evidence Response Team, the FBI's Underwater Search and Evidence Response Team, and the FBI Laboratory. We also want to recognize the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, Lieutenant Nate Brock, who's here. And the private dive teams that assisted us is Ken Fleming with Recon Dive and Recovery, and Vern Schertz from Hilo and Sub. Thank you for being here. I'd also like to acknowledge the District 23 Medical Examiner's Office and the homeowners who accommodated us at the dive site, which I will talk about. But before I begin my formal comments on the case, I'd also like to recognize Mary Lou's family members who've joined us today. Her daughter, Natasha Harper, her sisters, Tracy Hayes and Rita Haney, and brother Jerry Combs. So thank you for attending, and hopefully we can help answer the questions on this mystery today. So let me just tell you a little bit about the case background. Mary Lou Combs was last seen on August 19, 2003, leaving her Palm Coast home located at 3 Sanchez Avenue in the Hemic area of Flagler County after, frankly, an argument with her mother. She periodically shared this home with her mother and 2 of her 3 children. She was 41 years old at the time of her disappearance. 2 weeks after she was last seen, Mary Lou's sister-in-law contacted the sheriff's office. A statewide BOLO was issued, but no missing persons report was filed at that time. On October 9, 2003, Mary Lou was officially reported missing in a report taken by then Deputy John Reckenwald, who, as I mentioned, is here with us now. And ironically, he's a sergeant over our Marine and Agriculture unit. At that time, deputies spoke to Mary Lou's mother and sister-in-law. A follow-up report was made on January 6, 2004, as Mary Lou's family told deputies that they had still not heard from her. During this follow-up, Mary Lou's mother provided deputies with her vehicle information, which was a 1996 red Dodge Plymouth Neon. 2 days later, on January 28th, Mary Lou's family informed deputies that she had been fired from her job a week prior to a disappearance and had never collected her final paycheck. They also told deputies she had missed her children's birthdays and holidays, which was very unlike her to do. Over the years, detectives followed numerous tips in search for Mary, but those efforts were unsuccessful and the case went cold. In 2020, we launched the agency's first full-time cold case unit to examine unsolved crimes, including Mary Lou's disappearance. We launched that because I believe that it is our responsibility to be the voice of victims and for their families so that we can bring closure to these cases. Our first cold case detective, then Detective Andrew Cangelosi, Picked up the search by going back to review the tips and re-interviewing known associates of Mary Lou. The Sheriff's Office dive team also searched various ponds and canals. In late 2021, the case gained some new media coverage. It was featured on First Coast News' Unsolved Crimes and Fox 35's True Crimes Files. Despite the renewed interest in the case, no new leads were generated from that activity. In February 2024, we partnered with 2 volunteer dive teams, Recon Dive Recovery and Hilo and Sub, to search for Mary Lou's vehicle. On October 25th, we finally had our big breakthrough. The volunteers had found what they believed to be a vehicle submerged underwater, upside down in the Intercoastal Waterway. They also found a bumper consistent with Mary Lou's vehicle in the Intercoastal Waterway near 18th Road. Our dive team dived the site, but due to the depth, condition, and location of the vehicle, which is approximately 14 to 17 feet underwater, upside down, and now partially buried in muck after over 22 years, we requested assistance from the FBI's Underwater Search and Evidence Response Team from Miami and the FBI Evidence Response Team in Jacksonville. In December 2025, the FBI dive team conducted an underwater survey of the area to determine exactly what would be needed in the recovery effort. The vehicle was in poor condition due to it being submerged in salt water for over 22 years and would actually crumble when it was touched, which made this a much more difficult recovery effort. On February 3rd, 2026, a 3-day multi-agency recovery operation began, which coincided, ironically, on National Missing Persons Day. And we didn't plan that. It just happened to be that day that everybody could get together to start this recovery. The FBI provided close to 30 people for this mission, including some as far away as Quantico, Virginia, from the FBI Academy. And we really appreciate the efforts of the FBI here, and you'll hear more about that in just a little minute. And I have to tell you, I was at the scene. The FBI operation was just over the top with the resources and the capability they have that we're going to talk about now. FBI divers entered the vehicle through a broken driver's side window. FBI dredging equipment was used to suction contents into an evidence recovery basket on shore, where FBI evidence response teams carefully sifted through sediment to locate evidence. Items recovered, I'm not going to list it all, but I'm going to list a few of them. Parts of the car that were consistent with a Dodge Neon, a shoe size 7 consistent with Mary Lou's shoe size, a Florida driver's license issued to Mary Combs that frankly was in pristine condition, toys which Mary Lou's daughter, Natasha, who was 13 years old when her mother went missing, confirmed the toys were hers. Human remains which were confirmed by an on-scene FBI forensic anthropologist. That's the kind of resources that we were given. They flew an anthropologist to the scene during this operation. As part of that recovery, included a leg bone with metal plates attached. And that's significant because we know that Mary had metal plates implanted after having a crushing ankle injury. All evidence strongly suggests the remains are those of Mary Lou Combs, but final determination is pending DNA testing. However, prolonged exposure to salt water may have limited the ability for DNA comparison. The DNA is still pending. What we believe occurred is that Mary Lou accidentally drove into the Intercoastal Waterway at the end of 18th Road. As you can see from the photo behind me, 18th Road is a dirt road which used to be an old boat ramp and goes directly into the water. Now, go back almost 23 years now and remember the population in Flagler County and the Barrier Island isn't what it was today. So it was still a fairly rural, sparsely populated location. Well, we believe after the car went into the water, the current started carrying the car north and began filling with water. The car capsized and sank to the bottom of the intercoastal near 66 and 68 Hernandez Avenue in the hammock, likely trapping Mary Lou in the car. The broken window could indicate that she tried to escape or the window was damaged over time. We probably will never know exactly what occurred when it comes to that. We know, given the passage of more than 2 decades, that finding Mary Lou alive was extremely unlikely. However, providing answers, no matter how difficult, is critical for families who have endured decades of uncertainty. Our goal has always been to bring resolution, accountability if warranted, and the opportunity for her family to lay her to rest. I want to thank and commend our detectives and our cold case and major case unit, our CSI unit, our Marine unit, our dive team for working diligently on this case and never giving up. I also want to thank again our partner agencies and volunteer organizations from the FBI, FWC, the Medical Examiner's Office, Recon Dive Recovery, and Hilo and SUP. And I want to thank the homeowners on Hernandez Avenue for accommodating us during this operation by providing use of their property, docks, outdoor showers with hot water. That was really nice for the divers, restrooms, and so much more. They couldn't have been more accommodating. In fact, I think they have a guest house on one of the properties and even offered that. This was truly a multi-agency and community effort requiring teamwork to bring Mary Lou home. So before I introduce the next speaker, I'd like to play a video produced by the FBI.
On February 3rd, 2026, National Missing Persons Day, the remains of Mary Lou Combs were recovered from a submerged car in the Matanzas River after she went missing in 2003. This effort brought in more than 30 FBI personnel from both our evidence response team and the FBI's underwater search and evidence response team. Partnering with the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, FBI Jacksonville, and other investigators were finally able to provide some answers and closure to Combs' family.
We believe the public deserves to have safer neighborhoods. The FBI takes this responsibility very seriously. We will continue to work tirelessly with our law enforcement partners to keep the community safer and free from fear, intimidation, and violence.
So with that, I'd like to invite Special Agent in Charge Jason Carley to provide remarks on behalf of the FBI. Please.
Thank you, Sheriff. Sir, I'd like to first thank you and your team for all the hard work that they've done in the investigation and also asking us to come in and support in this operation. I also want to recognize and congratulate Jacksonville's evidence response team and FBI Miami's underwater search and evidence response team that came out and did the hard work. I really appreciate the work that they do. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it. There's a planning that they have to do. It takes not just the operation itself, it's days and days and weeks of planning just to make sure this happens in the right way. And in addition to that, this capability is something that shows to be very successful in these types of operations. I do want to touch on partnerships, as the sheriff has just spoken of. FBI Jacksonville's relationships with law enforcement agencies across North Florida couldn't be stronger. We stand shoulder to shoulder with our law enforcement partners to ensure we're helping the community stay safer. It's an important thing for us, and we will continue to be dedicated towards that effort. I will again thank my team for what they did and all the tireless efforts that they did in terms of this operation, and I hope that the results of this operation will bring some closure to the family. Thank you.
So just so that the media understands what we're doing, there's a few other people I want to offer the opportunity to speak to. Then I have a couple presentations to make to thank some of the individuals involved. And then we'll open it, and the family will have an opportunity to speak if they desire. And then we'll take Q&A. So just bear with us as we go through this. So I would ask, and I don't know if you guys want to, you're welcome to or not, but Ken Fleming, Recon Dive Recovery, if you'd like to say anything.
Thanks, Sheriff. I appreciate it. I'd like to thank Sheriff Staley for his leadership in allowing his cold case unit, his detectives, and all of his deputies to think outside the box and work with civilians, public-private partnership with like us. We've made it our mission to locate the missing underwater where we have our special skills to do so. Detective Scalia contacted us in January of 2004, so this has been a 2-year mission for us where we've been targeting and checking all the locations. We targeted about 300 ponds in the area, ruled out the ones that were not built at the time that she disappeared, and started attacking everything on the route from where she went missing to where she was expected to be to pick up her check the next day, and likely areas in between, and also opposite directions as well. And then we focused on the river. About a year later, we met with Sarah and the North Florida Cold Case Council. We were invited in to participate in that so that we can showcase this capability of aquatic search and the underwater uncrewed sonar systems that we have for surface and ROV, that we also partner with law enforcement and make these tools available to them as well. After meeting with the Cold Case Council, we continued to work on the case and started focusing on the river with a larger vessel that allowed us to get in there during the boat traffic. We ran sonar up and down the river, and we were casting about 100-foot wide sonar path, and we saw what we believed to be a little pile of rubble. And then we made the turn. We did about 10 miles on the river, and we located several vessels underwater, came back to this rubble pile, and started using the sonar equipment to zoom in a little bit tighter in about a 30-meter cast. And that's when we got the shadows to line up to make it look like it could be a vehicle. Unfortunately, it was buried up to the rocker panels upside down, and we were not able to be 100% sure if it was a vehicle. We spent about 1.25 miles trying to get a magnet onto the vehicle, but the metal was so deteriorated that it would not stick. So we had to use our ROVs to take a look at it, try to determine what it was. The visibility was so poor that we had about 12 to 18 inches of visibility. A lot of it was by touch only. I performed 2 dives, recovered the spring, as the sheriff said, and then the bumper was a make, model, year match to the vehicle. And later CSI determined that there was a color swatch that matched the colors as well. We turned the evidence over immediately to the detectives and the dive team, and we sent Sarah a text saying we found her. At least we think we do. Until we have the victim, we're not sure. There were several delays along the way as we put this entire team together to do this operation. We had Buck from Dive 911 come and help us dredge, and then the FBI brought their team in to do the complete dredge. And because of those delays, it turns out that Mary Lou's first set of remains were located on National Missing Persons Day, to which we're all proud of. So we'd like to thank the sheriff and everyone else. I'd like to introduce Vern Schertz of Hilo and Sub, the genius behind our uncrewed sonar systems.
Hello. I'd like to thank the Sheriff's Department, Sarah Scalia, for having the faith in us to bring us in, talk with us about the case. I would also like to thank very much Natasha, Mary Lou's daughter. We spoke with her at length to get a better idea, a better feel for what was going on during that time. One of the things we try to do is get a sense of the case, the person, try to determine whether this could be an accident or a self-harm, things of that nature, which helps drive how we do our searches and stuff. There are almost 1,000 cases across the United States that are very similar to Mary Lou's case. A large portion of those are in the Southeast. In the state of Florida alone, there's 70,000 retention ponds, tens of thousands of miles of canals, let alone all the natural waterways. And there are a lot of cold cases that we are currently working and that we are planning on working in the future. And we're hoping through what we've been able to do here with Flagler County and the FBI, that we're able to talk with, investigators, talk with detectives, and see if we can find, more missing persons and bring more loved ones home. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to add that both of these private partnerships, they didn't charge anything for that, and they operate on contributions and donations, and so on behalf of our taxpayers, thank you for that. You have some great sonar in there. We have some in our Marine unit, but I suspect Sergeant Reckenwald's going to hit me up for more higher tech stuff in the future. So let me talk to you before I see if the family wants to say anything. Mary Lou is survived by her 3 children, Natasha, Robert, and Jeremy, 6 grandchildren, 6 siblings, Rita, Tracy, Rosa, Dennis, Ellis, and Gerald, and 2 others, Heather and Dale, who have since passed away. Her mother, also named Mary Lou Combs, passed away a couple of years after Mary Lou was reported missing, and her father, Harold Combs, passed in 2001. Mary Lou would have been 64 years old last October. To Mary Lou's family, we know this is not the outcome that anyone hoped for. We know it's been a long and painful journey for you all. You had many, many years of uncertainty and wondering what happened, and so we hope this recovery brings you some comfort, the truth, and a chance to honor her memory properly. So on behalf of the men and women of the Sheriff's Office, we share your sorrow, but at the same time, we share your, I don't want to say happiness, but at least now you have some answers and can properly recognize your mother and siblings. So now I'd like to ask Mary Lou's family, you certainly have an opportunity if you'd like to say anything.
So I just have something to read from. As a little girl, my mother was my best friend and my everything. When she went missing, our worlds changed so much, and it has not been the same since. For over 22 years, we've known that our mother did not simply leave us, but we still grieved her and missed her kind and loving presence. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office has always been supportive, and they've always done their best. And when Detective Sarah Scalia came in contact with independent divers, Vernon Schertz and Ken Fleming, everything changed. They've searched tirelessly, dedicating countless hours and doing so much behind the scenes, all while balancing lives and families of their own. We owe so much to those men and to Sarah and the FCSO for finally finding our beautiful mother, sister, grandmother, daughter, and friend. She would be honored to have such a team caring about her and helping her family find peace. We're forever grateful that we can finally say goodbye. Thank you to everyone that has played a part in this blessing. May our mother rest in paradise. Thank you.
All right, so let me just kind of sum up this case for you. We still consider this an active investigation as we still have some unanswered questions. Questions that, frankly, we may never know the answer to. Even after 22 years, we continue to ask anyone with information about Mary Lou Combs' disappearance to come forward. In addition, our cold case unit is still working hard to solve 16 cold cases, 11 homicides, 4 missing persons, and 1 undetermined case. So if you know something, no matter how small, you could have that small piece that will help us bring the truth, will help us bring closure to a family or someone to justice and that victim receiving justice. So please contact the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. Our non-emergency line is 386-313-4600. 4911, or you can email tips@flaglersheriff.com. You may also contact Crime Stoppers at 1-888-277-TIPS. Someone out there may still hold a piece of information that helps us complete this investigation or helps us solve one of our other cold cases. We need your information. So before we open it to questions, I'd like to present a few recognition awards, as we couldn't have solved this cold case without a few special people and teams. And for my team at the Sheriff's Office, you will be recognized at our next agency award ceremony. But first, for the FBI, and I won't read this whole thing. Sorry about that, whoever I just knocked out. Hopefully they're still on. But this is the Federal Bureau of Investigation Underwater Search and Evidence Recovery Team Unit Citation.
Just that.
Okay. Okay. And then we also have, for the FBI, the Evidence Response Team, which is your Jacksonville team, I believe, right? And we have individual awards for the team members to give you that we'll ask you to hand out at the appropriate time. Okay. And then also Vern from Hilo and Sub could come forward. Again, it's a certificate of appreciation for all your help. Thank you. Yep, I think Tanya wants one.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
And then Ken Fleming from Recon Dive and Recovery. Again, thank you so much. So with that, we'll be glad to open it up to any questions that you may have. Hopefully we can answer them.
Sheriff, are you saying that there's a chance that this might not have been an accident, or have you recovered any evidence that suggests that it was not anything but an accident?
So we have nothing at this time to say it's anything more than an accident, but until the ME finishes their job, we can't rule anything out. But I will tell you that it really does appear that it was a tragic accident at this point.
You said you had other questions though about it, so that made me wonder like what else?
Well,
It sounds like an accident.
Well, we're 99.9% sure this is Mary Lou Combs, but until, based on all the evidence that was recovered. But again, we need the DNA, we need the ME to tell us. So could it be somebody else? Yeah, there's maybe 1/100th of a chance of that, but I think it's Mary Lou Combs. During the investigation, there were a lot of speculation and rumors that came in when she was initially reported missing, and actually since then, over the years. None of that has been able to be substantiated. So we think, based on all the evidence that we have, that this was a tragic accident. During that investigation, we had heard other things that went on, whether that may have had a criminal aspect to it, but none of that has been proven. So until we can close those last little loops, the case is still open, but we'll see what the ME comes up with. Okay. Any other questions?
How long will that DNA testing take?
Boy, I wish it was quick. It never is in these cases. You may recall a couple of years ago, we uncovered skeletal remains in a construction site, and we're still waiting on that. So it's never fast, and it depends on if you're able to extract enough DNA to do the test. I will tell you that the the science is much better than it was when Mary Lou disappeared. And so hopefully, it won't be as long.
Sheriff, is this the first time you guys have partnered with a private company to find a missing person? And if so, what are the implications for your remaining missing persons cold cases?
So this is not the first time that we have partnered with volunteers. It is the first time, I believe, that we have partnered in an underwater volunteer location search and recovery. And I don't think there's any implications. I think what it would tell the community and those that have loved ones that we will stop to bring you an outcome to solve that case, whether it takes our partnerships like with the FBI. It was amazing, not only the equipment the FBI had and the ability to do what they did, to suction up all this sediment out of the vehicle and sift through it and categorize it. They sent an anthropologist, it was look, I'm an FBI National Academy graduate, and I knew the FBI had a lot of stuff. And I knew that they had very capable people. I had no idea that, decades ago, they had this capability and had the forethought to even do that for a specific collateral unit for underwater recovery of evidence. So, we will use whatever it takes and whatever partnerships we need to bring closure and solutions to a case. So we'll do that every time.
What prompted you to start looking into Intracoastal for?
I'm going to let Detective Scalia answer that question because, come on up, sir.
So like Ken and Vern mentioned, they reached out to me, wanted some case information, and I gave them, where she used to live, her previous places of employment. So 18th Road is about, I think, 4/10 of a mile away from her house. And they did a really good research on the area for the time she went missing and was able to track down that boat ramp and just locate specific areas of interest.
Other questions? Yes,
How far away from the shoreline was the vehicle located?
it was about 40 feet? About 40 feet, right? 40, 50 feet.
Do you know how fast the vehicle was going? Do you have an estimate of when it hit the water?
No, there's no way. I mean, any evidence that you would have got on a dirt road is long washed away, so, it was gone. I can't really speak to the investigation that was done when she was reported missing. But what I can tell you is that this is a very different sheriff's office with a lot more capability than it was back then.
Sheriff, you guys talked about 300 ponds, searching such a far area. Can you speak to just how incredible it is that you were able to locate this car and then recover it? It sounds like it's a miracle.
Well, it certainly is finding a needle in a haystack. I mean, if you just look at the intercoastal that's in Flagler County, it's about 18 miles long from end to end and in the width and everything. And that's just one big body of water, and then you have all these other ponds. And we don't have a lot of lakes in Flagler County. God kind of forgot lakes in Flagler. But you're trying to find something that's been somewhere for 22 years, and it's really just good police work, good analysis that gets you and input from the community, and then our private partners that came here. So it probably was a miracle that after all these years it finally was found and there was enough pieces visible. I mean, you saw the sonar picture. It takes quite a lot of experience just to be able to look at that picture and say, hey, we think this is a car that's upside down. Because well, there it is. I mean, that's to an untrained person, that's just something on the bottom of the intercoastal in there. So, it's all of that together.
What about lessons learned from this that you might be able to apply to future cases?
I don't know, Sarah, you're the cold case detective. You got any lessons learned from this other than not give up?
Yeah, not give up, just keep pursuing it, and if someone reaches out with a resource, use it. There's nothing that could go wrong.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best lesson learned. You know, a lot of law enforcement agencies want to keep everything close to your chest. And I think we've proven in this case why it's okay to let other partners in law enforcement come in, but also private individuals that have a skill that you may not have. And I think that would be the lesson that I would say for law enforcement across America. You know, it's okay to get help, and then you'll get results. So.
Which one of those 12 years ago, there was a boat that died in exactly the same place, same way. So are there any other boat ramps still open where people could just drive in at night and there are no lights there?
Well, we do have boat ramps. I mean, I live on Crescent Lake, and I can tell you there's a very secluded boat ramp near the property that I live at, and it's very dark, and people could, you know, mistake that if they go in there and make a mistake. But I don't know personally, I've lived here 21 years now, that there are any other abandoned boat ramps, if you will. But there could be in there. My helicopter will find it, Pierre.
Just, which one of the two companies came to you first? And it sounds like one of them came and said, hey, can we look around here?
So,
Sir.
Ken and Vern are, call you guys like you
Yeah.
have your own individual companies, but.
Yeah, we always, travel throughout. Actually, we traveled as far away as Chicago working on cases together. Yeah, we came together and talked with Sarah about this.
When all the leads kind of come to an end in a cold case, we look at the possibility of water. You know, the detectives are always looking at investigative means, we're always looking at the water. Some of those two come together, sometimes we get answers. To answer this gentleman's question, a lot of our victims, the majority of our victims are found in retention ponds, small canals, smaller bodies of water, which is what we focused on first. The boat ramp scenario is more common in the Northeast. We don't see it as often here because the Floridians are aware of that danger for the most part. We have folks with Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that that can accidentally end up in the water or just a high-speed accident or intoxication as well.
All right, any other questions? Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you to my team and our partners, and to our private partners. Thank you, and hopefully you'll get some donations. Thank you.